Ready to embrace the magical side of life, where anything is possible and the infinite is accessible to all? Let's have a conscious conversation about what's going on in the world, in your life, and your relationship from the expanded perspective of your soul. The path to awareness begins and ends in the heart. So let's take it there, one step at a time, and learn to cultivate magic in your life every single day. In each episode, we share a collective space in which we discover the unique facets of our own magic and embody our superhuman qualities by humbly exploring how it's super simply to be human. Hosts Kai and Dell co-create a magical experience to remind you that you are magical as fuck. Now, be unleashed. This is our daily magic.
All right, we are here for another exciting episode of our Daily Magic. What is up, everyone? I know you're going to join this whenever you join it. I'm doing something different in which I'm going to start the conversation before we even get into this. So before we get into it, let's get into the space together. Let's take a quick little, I like to call it a in the moment meditation real quick, in which you don't even need to close your eyes. You don't need to cross your legs or anything. What you need to do is just be here fully as you are right now. And what is the one way for us to really be able to get into the moment? Being aware of what is going on with you already, that is always going on because you're still here, which is breath. Get very aware of your breath in this moment. The breath of life, the abundance of air is always around us. It would be kind of cool if we can be able to see the energy of air, like little sprinkles in the air, so that way we can be able to see just how much abundance is always available to us. And then just the magical co-creation that's always going on, in which the trees around us is giving us the air for us to breathe. And also we're given the air for the trees to take in as well. Just a co-creation, always at play. We're always connected. We all are connected. And just allow a moment of pause of just to feel that connection and just be grateful. Grateful for just that little thing. That's a major thing, because without that little thing, we wouldn't be existing right now. It's so cool how one little thing stops happening. Other stuff stops happening. Just like us. We are all one of the major little ripples in the cosmic ocean. And it's magical. Just like this conversation that we're going to have today. And now that we're here, welcome to another episode of our Daily Magic, in which this space that we like to be in together, as we have the space behind us, we are floating in the universe together. But our intention with this is to bring more magic into the world, as Hopper agrees as well. Our belief and our knowingness. And it's our core embodiment that we have in this space is we are all magical. We all have our own unique magic, our own unique gift that God uniquely designed for each and every one of us to have as we are living this human experience together. And what life, your life, is giving you is an opportunity to discover that magic, an opportunity to cultivate that magic, an opportunity to expand that magic, because your magic is unique. Your magic is what is needed for us to really bring more of the magic into the world. What is magic? That's a question for you to find out for yourself. And we have these conversations and these podcasts to be able to showcase that, to be able to help you to discover that. And in this conversation that we're going to have today, just like every other conversation, listen to what speaks to your own soul for your own tools that you do have to cultivate your magic. We're not going to say, do this or do that. Check in with your soul and see what your soul tells you to do. But what we're going to do here is we're going to be here together. And for those you don't know, I am one of the completed halves of this. My name is Dell, and my lovely wife,
Kai.
And yeah, for those of you who are here, we appreciate you. Let us know what's going on with you, how you're feeling, and any questions that you have today. And definitely wanted to gear this from just what's showing up in the moment. And I think he was having this conversation yesterday as well. And we could definitely dive more into this. And the conversation was doing things in the expansive awareness of infinite type of thing. And also with the setting goals and the magic aspects of goals as well. And to give a little bit of context, I can give context with this, right? And definitely elaborate more, is my wife is working with me. She is my client. And obviously, for me in my dojo, if you're a client, I'm not going to hold back because I'm here to serve you. I'm here to get you what you really want from the depths of your soul to experience in your life. And I'm going to hold the space of you being able to create that. I'm going to hold this space for the possibilities and also to help you to rediscover what I see in you as well, of that infinite potential. So my wife has been working with me in the terms of creating a recurrent financial abundance goal, right? That's the way of saying it. And when she wants to expand her business, she had a set number that she wanted to get to. And from our conversation, it brought something for me as well with this. And I know it's going to resonate with other people too, with setting these goals of accomplishing. And goals are great, but what can happen with the goal is you're setting a goal as a place of trying to get to this space, as opposed to embodying the vastness of who you are to be able to create those things. And to give a little bit more context about this, definitely want to give the floor for you that you can express in your way of our conversation yesterday.
Okay. Well, there's one part of it that I'm particularly present to right now.
Mhm.
And that is that when you're talking about operating from a space of it already being complete, is that I would really like to experience the peace of mind that is available in that space with a constant, striving or doing or and being in the process of completion. It's like the gears are always turning. And I would love to create an experience for myself where I get to not necessarily, or I should say, not just rest physically, because that I'm good. But I want my mind and my soul to take a rest, like to go on vacation.
Mind and soul on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And what you're expressing now, we're elaborating even more from our conversation yesterday, which is pretty cool. So, do you mind if I guide you through that right now?
Sure.
And also want to shout out Peter, one of our loyal magical beings that shows up. Peter, I always appreciate you being into this space with us and sharing your insight with it. And also, it seemed like synchronicity to mention this because it's going to lead to what we're about to unravel as well with our conversation. So, what Peter mentioned was, he said a couple of days ago, I fell into a role as a victim. I'm getting better. This time, I just changed my thought, went out, and admired the blue lights I put on my driveway. Two rows. So that shift, the shift that he did, a shift in his state of being. His mind was giving him the reasons to take him into that path of being a victim to life. And then doing something so little, what he mentioned of being present and taking a look at something that he was in the space of admiration. And to be in that space of admiration, he was able to shift himself with it. So with you,
You want to open the door?
should I?
Yeah, why not?
Gonna let the hopper into the party?
This is our live studio audience.
Come on, Hellcat. So in the role for you, you're saying a vacation of the mind, a vacation of the soul. Is it a vacation from doing all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I'm curious, like for the mind doing, what is that? Like the mind doing?
Figuring out, planning, thinking ahead, even like envisioning, like, oh, well, what do you want? Like constantly bringing that into place.
Mm-hmm.
It has me question, like, is that even necessary?
If what is necessary?
Let's say that you have a quote unquote goal. Is it necessary to constantly like picture that, or can you just like
Let it go.
Yeah.
What does your soul tell you about that?
Well, it brought it into question.
Your soul brought it to question, or did your mind bring it to question?
I don't know anymore.
Does a soul question, or does a soul be and expands, or does the mind question? And does the mind tries to question so that way you can figure out you're doing the right things?
Good question.
And audience as well, with that question, share your insight too. I definitely want to dive into that. And for me, and also for you, when those things happen, and it's a good indicator, when those things happen to you, does it feel expansive, like those questions, or do those questions contract you?
I've never had a question that was contracting.
How do you feel with the questions?
Questions are always expansive because they open up the possibility for a solution or an answer.
It's petting the cat. So these questions, where do they take you when these questions are being asked? Is it taking you to the point where you are right now, in which you need a vacation from it? Ooh.
No, I think that the answer to any question is indicative of your mindset.
Peter says right here, my mind gets tired. I lie down and my mind falls back into what is necessary. It quiets my mind, my ego brain. I think soul is to be. The brain is ego. What's the hardest thing is to let go. Yet I have found that by doing that, my soul responds by guiding me to what I am working on. How's that resonate with you?
I don't know. Well, of course, I recognize that it's extremely valid for you, Peter. I'm just trying to place, how or where, if it lands with me in this situation that I'm experiencing in this moment. And of course, always said so eloquently. Thank you.
Well, best way of finding out how it resonates with you is to go into the thick of it for yourself, with the mind, the soul. It's an orange tabby cat, Peter. He's a bully. Yesterday, he barged in to my room because he wanted to get pet, showered him with love. But then as I was giving him the love, he was already, or what he was doing was he was bumping Kai as well, like bullying her too. Like, hey, you got hands, rub me too. But then I was like, I wonder what happens when I stop rubbing him. I was rubbing him. And he was doing that to her. But then as soon as I stopped rubbing him, that's when he really got to her. Hey. But he's a great example of when you want something, you go for it. And Hopper doesn't care. Hopper just wants love. I mean, obviously he showers his love too, but he loves to get pet. He doesn't care where he gets the pet from. He just knows that he wants to get showered with love. And then like what he did right here, in which he was meowing at the room or meowing at the door to come in here. And what he really wanted was to sit up here and to receive some love. Pets are such a perfect example for just what we can learn for our own selves. The pet isn't even the cats, the dogs. Do they really think about like, am I doing the right thing right now? Am I like, am I, if I'm doing the right stuff that aligns with me? Or do they like just respond to what's going on in the moment? And they're just being, like, for example, like Hopper, did Hopper think about, I don't want to overstep their toes by coming in here and letting them know that I want to get pet? He's like, no, I just want to get showered some love, and then I'm just gonna come in here and get some love, type of scenario. Pets don't judge themselves what they're doing, but also pets are the perfect example of unconditional love. And also pets are the example of unconditional love for themselves as well with things. And as I was, let's see. And oh, what up, Garrett? Garrett says, how about practicing being in the present? Breathe and allow what comes up, then observe. I find the future and the past are non-existent unless we spend time keeping them in our present. And then he said, LB says, meow the Hopper. Yeah. And that's the thing that could potentially happen. You know, like with goal setting and stuff, how he gets so overwhelmed with making sure we do all this stuff necessary to like achieve those goals, making sure we're doing the stuff that aligns with the goals and everything else. And even that part of us that a lot of us have of the achiever, making sure I'm doing everything necessary to achieve my goals. And if I'm not doing anything to, like, I guess, do the work, do some physical work or whatever it may be, then I'm not getting any steps closer to that goal as well. And our mind give us all these different scenarios for things that we can do in the moment. Hey, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this type of thing. But then our soul could be telling us like, yo, like, need some moment of rest, need a moment to chill for a little bit. But then the mind is like, nah, man, don't chill. You gotta keep going. You gotta go. You gotta get it done. Because things are not gonna get done if you don't keep going. But the mind's like, I really just want to be able to, like, relax for a little bit and chill. And then there could be the struggle. Which one do I listen to? Do I listen to my soul for chilling for a moment, or do I listen to my mind to keep it going and keep it going? To the point of the keep going, it could lead you to exhaustion. That exhaustion point in which you're going to be forced to rest. But then on the other side of the soul side, or I guess on the soul, what the soul's telling you in the moment of resting. So obviously the soul's telling you to rest in the moment. But then even on that side, overly resting and just chilling and not doing forth any actions, you're not going to take any steps towards your goals. So I believe that the state of your being matters with whatever you're doing anyway, with stuff, how you're being, and also what your soul is calling for you in a moment, because it's just a moment. Well, obviously what the mind does, which is an illusion, it feels like whatever you're doing is a permanent state, is permanent type of thing. Oh, if you rest right now, you're gonna be resting forever. So it gives you like all these thoughts of like what will potentially happen if you rest forever. But what if like you're just chilling in the moment because you feel like you need, or not feel like your soul is telling you like you need to like chill for a moment to like recharge your batteries to be able to put forth a different higher state of being when you're doing again these actions towards your goals. That just came through me. How what I said just how does what I said resonate with you, or what I just said to you? Well, also said to the audience.
I get the beingness part, like who am I being with the doing. The part that is still unclear is the discernment between, is it soul or is it ego? That's like, oh, you should keep going, or oh, you should rest.
How do you feel right now?
What do you mean?
Like in the present moment. What's your body telling you? How's your body feel? How's your state right now?
Frazzled.
I don't know what the word frazzle means.
You can look it up.
What frazzle mean for you?
It's like I've got like frayed wires. Like there's like a lot of electricity that's not necessarily being conducted anywhere efficiently.
Is like the wires like
Mm-hmm.
like, what's that guy from Spider-Man, Dr. Puss?
I thought it was Doc Ock.
Oh, one of those things. But your answer is already letting you know in the present moment of your state. And like Garrett mentioned, checking in with yourself in the moment right now of how you feel and how you're being right now in this moment. And obviously this part of us, we all have it, that feels like, yo, you gotta keep going, you gotta do this, you gotta do that type of thing, like that. But then this other part of us, and then especially the consciously aware people who get aware of yourself, you can see how you are in the moment. And if you're frazzled, like you're mentioning, and your things are going like this, like your body and your soul is telling you something, but your ego is trying to tell you something else.
I still feel like all parts of myself are valid. So to like talk about the ego as something that doesn't, shouldn't pay attention to that, that doesn't resonate with me. What I hear is that there's a part of me that's trying to tell me something and I'm trying to listen, but I just don't know which one to act on.
Well, you mentioned you need a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
What does a vacation look like for you?
Not doing anything in a nice environment.
For a moment? For right now?
Several.
So no, I meant like the next step.
Yes.
That's what it looks like for you. You mentioned that before we had a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like you need a moment. You need a moment of a vacation of not doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Right there, feels like your soul is speaking to you right there of the next step for you to do.
Okay.
So why not do it?
Because it contradicts a lot of other things.
Like what?
Like the urge to complete things.
What if in the world you can be able to complete it? But think about it. How would that completion be in your state of being right now? Like what kind of results would that completion bring if you deal with in the state that you're currently in right now? And you mentioned to me yesterday of just how you want to be more in your excitement and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel excited right now?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel more excited if you're able to like just not do for a little bit
Mm-hmm.
to get back into your excitement and get it completed from that state?
Yep.
You got your answer. Because you already mentioned like what you want, how you want to be. And you follow your excitement. Your soul is telling you where to guide you to in just this moment.
Mm-hmm.
So what if like your excitement is telling you that just for right now, so you actually can be able to complete those things from there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does that feel for you?
Better.
So what does it look like of not doing? Was this stuff you mentioned to me before?
Like.
The self-care things?
Possibly.
What's a fuck yes for you? Not a maybe not. I don't know. What's a fuck yes for you in a moment?
I want to get on a plane and go to a nice hot beach.
Which beach? There's plenty of, I don't even know how the weather is. Just heard that it's cold in California. Is it warm in Miami?
Florida, Puerto Rico, Mexico.
Okay.
Eat really good food.
What's really good food?
Something that I don't have to cook. And not do anything.
So you have your stuff that speaks to your soul now.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
You have these things that speak for you for some actions you like to take for yourself right now.
I could go over there, put on my mindfold and pretend.
what is those spaces and getting those foods and everything else? You feel like you can't do it right now?
Yes,
Why?
because I have things to do.
You have things to do for what?
I have things to do. Physically, financially. Do you have another question?
You have things to do physically and financially. So you're saying those are the stuff that you like to experience, but then you have to create the financial resources for it, right?
Time resources and financial resources.
By time, meaning you don't have the capabilities of scheduling this slot to be able to do those things.
Correct.
Why can't you schedule future time to actually do these things?
Because I haven't had a conversation with you.
So what's stopping you from having a conversation with me?
I haven't made the decision that I'm going to do anything anyway.
Okay. You want to make the decision of doing the stuff that excites you, right? You made that decision yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So why not have those conversations and do those things that excite you?
I haven't had the headspace to even get there.
We're here now.
Okay.
So what's stopping you from having this conversation to actually get this down pat for you?
Because I still don't know what I'm going to do about it. I have an option. I could go over there and pretend in my meditation space, or I could actually go somewhere.
Who calls you? Going somewhere?
That would be nice.
Okay. So let's create it.
How?
The how aspects is what needs to get let go of. But having a conversation about this in which you can be able to schedule, and it's a cool thing about the goal aspects of things. Have you even taken a look at the places you want to go to like see like the prices and everything? Yeah. We're like just the wishes and throwing it out there and hoping that maybe potentially could be able to do something like that. As opposed to let's make a decision, let's get this done. Look at the numbers for it. You get to see exactly like what you need for to actually have that experience. You can create that. It's a different energy. You know, it's like it reminds me of like, man, oh, I wish that I could have a burger type of thing. And I was gonna sit here, gonna meditate and think about the burger. Visualize eating the burger. Gonna sit there for a little bit and then go about my day type of thing. As opposed to obviously, yeah, in the moment, this is what I want. I have a burger. I see it. But then I do the stuff to make sure to do my part of creating that, a co-creation of the universe type of thing. And the reason I say that, it reminds me of the scenario of this. You realize you decided you want to do something that excites you. What excites you is to be able to go to a place that's warm, go to a beach and that type of stuff, but then also to be able to have the experiences of being able to eat stuff that you don't have to cook as well.
Mm-hmm.
what about looking at the prices for how much it is to go to that place, how much it is to stay there forever, how long it is to stay there for it. So where you can know, like, okay, this is how much it actually costs to do that. Because you never know. The cost of it might be something you already have for it.
True.
You may know. You can actually look and see, because there's different times as well. Oh, obviously there's peak seasons and all this other shit that goes on, but you can actually find a time that works for you. And also be like, hey, I want to have a conversation with you. Have a conversation with me in the realms of that possibility being coming to fruition, as opposed to your soul's telling you that you like to do that, then you're shutting it down.
Right.
So how's that resonate with you? As I read some of the more of the chats. So we're gonna get back to you real quick, allow you to ponder that, contemplate that as I read the comments. So Gary just said, the soft voice is spirit, the loud voice is scared ego, trying to keep you safe and small. And Peter just said, this is great for couples. And he agrees, Garrett, and he said, by example, you two, I guess he's talking about us, you two treasure each other's emotions, vulnerability, truth, and love for one another. Just that alone heightens both of your vibration. Yeah. It's like, it's like, that's how I feel, in which I want to be in a space, and this is like for whoever I'm in a space with, in which nothing is not possible, and to be able to create things. And obviously in the realms of a relationship, they say, was the thing happy wife, happy life? Well, that quote or whatever, but like, I want to be able to create a possibility of more peace, but also allowing people to really go for what they want, because it's the same thing vice versa for me to be able to do that as a possibility for it, but also the willingness to have a conversation of vulnerability like we're having right now, in which my wife is being able to discover, like, hey, it actually is possible for me to do the things that excite me as well. And it's like a different energy with your being and doing. Can you imagine just doing stuff excited, and also knowing that this is going to lead me to do those more of those things that excite me in the moment, type of thing. Like, this is part of the stepping stones for me, creating those excitements more in my life, but also having a space like we're having for this conversation right now, in which she actually can share what's going on inside of her to bring more awareness to it, not only just for herself, but collectively for us, because I'm sure like this message is resonating for whoever is listening to it right now. Even Hopper decided to come in here to hear it. So by seeing this as that it is totally possible to get this done, how's that feel? What from that state, what would you like to do? And you don't have to sit and meditate a bit and sit with it and stuff. I mean, that's great. That's part of it potentially, from a level of excitement of like, this is possible.
Doing the research.
There we go. And you got these people who are listening to this, and people who are going to watch this whenever they watch it or listen to it, that can also hold you accountable for that.
Sure.
Is there anything else? How's it feel to talk about it?
Uncomfortable.
How do you feel now that you talked about it?
The same. I haven't taken any action yet. So.
How does it feel to like discover an action to take that you didn't discover initially?
Eye-opening.
Oh, that was great. What Peter said, he said, footwork for me can be very painful. Perhaps old tapes, yeah, once I go through it, old tapes become more manageable. Some deep stuff. Thank you. Yeah, it's a great indicator of our inner subconscious beliefs that we actually are playing as a program for our life is when we come to moments where we really want something and those thoughts come up for why we can't get that, why we can't do that, why we shouldn't do that. And it's a great learning experience for us to start to shift the narrative. Obviously, if we want to go somewhere, we want a vacation, or even for myself, want to create a bigger space, a home, and things like that. And if I look at it based upon everything leading up to that moment that I decided that I want to do that, I can start to believe the narrative that led me up to the story of why it can't happen because it hasn't happened yet as well. So we can look at things from that aspects of it, or we can look at things from an acceptance awareness that, okay, my actions and beliefs that I did with those actions led me to where I am right now. And now it's just right now. It's an opportunity for me to start to shift the narrative, start to do different actions, start to shift these beliefs and take a look at these things of why I carried myself out with these beliefs. So that way I can be able to integrate the beliefs to get me into the new space that we're looking for what I like to create. Because there's always something that we can learn from our experiences. But then also, if we don't learn, we're just going to be doomed to repeat it again. It's going to be another experience of the same thing as well. It's a choice. But every action that we take up to this moment led us to where we are right now. And it's not a permanent space that we're in. We are infinite divine beings, and infinite is everything. And also, we are, like I said before earlier in this conversation, of one of the ripples in this cosmic ocean. So this ocean and vastness is something which is synchronistically, because just like the physical ocean, in which we haven't even tapped the iceberg of all the potentialities and stuff that are out there. But the one thing that is proven is what we believe and what we perceive, and the things that we do from that state of what we believe and perceive and how we're being is going to give us the results that we have right now. But it's pretty cool because there's infinite ways of being to get infinite results. And also this ocean of vastness is always here to help support us, help to guide us. And one of the great indicators is those excitement things, and creating from the space of that, of knowing that that ocean is supporting us to create whatever we want to create. But are we willing to be in that state of being, of knowing that, down to the core, even when those thoughts for why we can't do something based upon our previous experiences start to show up? And we have a choice. Do we want to continue the narrative, the story that got us to where we are right now? Or do we want to shift to what our soul is telling us is totally possible from us? We're infinite. There's nothing that we can't do, because look at it. Look at all the different things out there of all the people that accomplish the stuff that they accomplish. And a lot of people accomplish the thing that we're trying to accomplish in our own life. And it's just like the 4-minute mile. One person runs a 4-minute mile, then everybody else started doing it because they believed it as well. And if somebody else is able to create what you're looking to create, so can you in your own unique way. But there's always little nuggets. Why not ask your soul? How does your soul want to create that, whatever it may be? We always have the tools here at our disposal, right in front of us, to create what we want. We're able to listen to that soft voice, like Garrett mentioned, our soul, as opposed to listening to our ego for how to get shit done. Because, yeah, you might get there. You might, by listening to ego, you might get there, but it's going to be a fucking struggle. And it's going to be more hard work. Hard work. But obviously there's balance with it. There's some work to do. And there's also ways of being. But the way you're being when you're doing gives you the results. So it's like, if I'm doing whatever I'm doing from an infinite space, there's an infinite expansive space, and being in the moment with that, I feel like it opens up the possibilities for all the infinite things to show up in the moment, like in this conversation, or whatever we're doing. I feel like it taps into just being God in the moments of creation. So how would you like to be? Is a question. How would you like to be in this moment? How would you like to be moving forward? And then Gary just said, also, allow yourself to feel what you're feeling until you can think or feel a better thought authentically. Otherwise, if you don't feel the good with the bad, we're just bypassing. It's okay to sit in the shit. Just don't stay there too long, and remember to take a shower when you're done. That's funny. Yeah. And that's the cool thing with Infinite as well. Infinite is all that. Dark, light, good, bad, quote unquote. But it's all of that together, that vastness of it. And like I was saying, the infinite is becoming that space that you are, because you're the space of all that going on in your universe. All those emotions, all those thoughts, everything else that's happening. Can you be able to get yourself to the place of being able to see those things? Just like how God sees us. We think that like we're just us and our thoughts and our mind and stuff is going on. It's a lot. It's like crazy. It can get overwhelming. Like, you imagine like the creator of all this, of holding this space for all of us together. This how vast, like how much that could be. But it's cool because like being in space for all of that. And then like what Gary mentioned, feeling through whatever you're feeling, because feeling like shit is just as valuable as feeling great. Because you're feeling in the moment. And there's always a nugget through all those things. And there's just a moment passing through. And the moment you're feeling right now got you to the place of actually discovering what excites you. And if it wasn't for this moment, we wouldn't be able to allow you to find some solutions that resonate with your soul.
True.
This is good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Who else is here? Whoever the third person is, we appreciate you. It might just be me, but yeah, thank you for just being here, being present with us, because without one of you being here, we wouldn't be able to get to where we got to with this conversation. Yeah, Gary's so right. He's like, we are taught to only feel good and not feel the emotions. Yeah, man. The whole stay positive mindset. Oh no, like, oh man, I'm feeling this overwhelm and stuff like that. I can't feel this thing. I gotta shift myself type of thing. And it's like there's a part of you, it's not fully like the full you, but there's a part of you that's feeling something right now. And it's actually an opportunity to be with that part of you that feels something, to allow that part of you that's actually feeling that to receive the love in the moment that it needs. And it's monumental to be able to hold that space for those parts of you that may be feeling upset, feeling stressed, feeling overwhelmed, feeling anxious, but we can fall into illusion of fear, of feeling that that's who we fully are, like forever. It's a moment. It's a moment of healing, a moment of reintegrating those parts of ourselves that may be stuck in those emotions from experiences that we never got to fully express ourselves and feel ourselves in those emotions. And when it shows up, there's an opportunity to actually reintegrate that self of us. That's expansive. It's like, it reminds me of sort of like, they say when you die, like your whole information, you go back to source. And like they said, that source is living experiences through us so that we can gather some more information about itself type of thing. So what if potentially for ourselves, the same type of thing when those moments that we had up to this moment, that we experienced some type of traumatic events and things like that, is the same thing for us, to bring that part of us back to our source, back into love, to actually learn experiences for ourselves, which we already did. Because from those experiences, we navigating differently, we're thinking differently, and all this different stuff. But then also we may be limiting ourselves differently as well, as opposed to how we were before the event happened.
I agree. I feel like I am my infinite, expansive self, almost in a state of pretending. But really, what I'm doing is pushing this infinite information through an emotional filter that can use some expansive conditioning. So that's what this is. This is an expression through that filter, even though I'm very aware of the origin of love, from which it's all coming from, and going to at the same time.
That's great. You're doing the conditioning now by just having these conversations and going there. But also, like we were mentioning, being being that space for those parts of yourself to finally be heard and seen, and in this moment, because in previous moments it wasn't allowed that space to be able to do that. But now there's like an opportunity for it, those parts of us. So now it's like, hey, I'm here now.
I have a question, and I think that I already know the answer.
So I want you to ask the question with already knowing as well.
Cool. Well, yes, and I'll see what is said. Like for instance, Kyle sees.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, this part of you is coming up, right? And it's in many cases giving you an urge to do something. It's like, what if you don't do it? What if you just be with that feeling? So for me, that has the question arise, well, do I even need to do anything? Or like I said, should I just go grab my mindfold and just be with it?
Grab your mindful.
Mindfold. It's the name of the blindfold that I have.
Oh. And for like grabbing the mindful, what is that? What do you feel like getting the mindful is going to do for you?
Whatever Kyle C says that being with these parts of self is supposed to do.
And that's what the mindful does for you?
AKA meditation.
Okay. We're meditating right now.
Yeah. So does that mean that I don't have to do the actions? I just need to be with it?
Aren't you being with it right now?
Yes.
What else do you need to do if you're already being with it? It's
right.
like,
then what's the point of going on vacation and all that stuff?
I'm pretty sure the vacation for yourself, and then also elaborate more. It's like, is it like your way of saying like, wow, I'm dropping everything, I get to get away type of scenario? Like, what is it for you? What's like the core essence behind what does like doing that mean for you?
Giving myself what I want, what I actually want.
Now we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere, Boo. Giving yourself what you actually want.
Yes.
Now we're here. What do you actually want in this moment?
To just be.
Okay. Congratulations. You're giving yourself what you actually want in this moment. Because look what you're doing right now. You're not like carrying on a facade, saying that you feel like you gotta be a certain way in this moment. You actually are being how you are in this moment right now with all of us. I'm not the only witness. You got tons of witnesses right here, and I'm going to read the loving comments momentarily. But like, you're doing right now what you've been looking to do, and you don't have to go somewhere to be that. You're being it right now.
Right. So what's the point of doing the rest?
Doing the rest of what?
Like going somewhere.
You would like to also go somewhere, right? That excites you.
What I'm saying is based on the most optimal way to integrate this experience. Does it mean that I don't have to do anything?
Yeah. What if all you have to do is be like you are right now? And that's good enough.
Right. So what's the point of doing anything? Or just be it right now?
If you're being it right now, isn't a different energy or whatever you want to do from the state of being?
I guess.
I want to put this love out here for you. And Garrett said, Kai, you are perfect. You're perfectly perfect as you are. And Peter just said, it touches me deeply to experience just how much the two of you love one another. And Garrett also said, in fact, all humans are perfectly perfect as they are. Word up. What if this state, and this is great. This is a great question for all of us to like contemplate for ourselves as well. What if being in this moment as you are is, as Gary mentioned, perfectly perfect? It's enough. It's a starting point. It's a great starting point to expand more upon the state of our current being. right now for you, and it's a process that's been happening for I don't know how long, but I noticed it yesterday and also today of your being right now is like you are going through what you're going through, your emotions now, you're releasing stuff right now. You're being with these parts of yourself that are having these moments to cry and let things out that it wasn't able to let out before. And you're being the supportive space that you've been yearning for these parts of yourself. And like currently right now, you're meditating. I remember it's synchronicity how I mentioned before, like we don't need to cross our legs, we don't need to do the blindfold and like everything else. I mean, it's a great tool to use, but like what if what you're doing right now is enough for you for what is needed in the moment for you? And obviously other stuff is great experiences to have as well, but like even those things, it's all about like how you're being in the moment. I'm using this thing to connect with myself, in which like, oh wait, let me just connect with myself right now. Let me just connect in the moment because the moment is me. You are the moment. I am the moment. If I'm present in the moment, I'm connected to the moment, I'm connected to me because everything is me. We all come from the same source. We all energetically are connected. So if I'm in the moment, I'm connected to me. Obviously in meditation, I get to go play a little bit. But even in the moments of being present, I get to play as well. Like in this conversation right here, I get to play, get to be in the moment, get to hold the collective space for my wife, who is also me, to be able to release some things. Where we get to be together. Like this is our sand pit, our little playground sand pit. Once you just show up and we get to show up however we are. We don't judge each other. We just get to play. But then like having these type of conversations, like, yeah, man, like it's very soul shifting. But from the initial conversation to where we are right now, it's showing you that like when these potential nudges show to you like stuff you would like to experience and things like that, it's totally fine. It's cool. And also, you may never know, like, oh yeah, I want to go to the beach too and put some thongs on. Or even, oh, you want to actually get some food that you don't have to make and stuff. Oh, cool. Is it like go to the restaurant type of thing? Like that type of scenarios? Yeah. We can create possibilities for it. I'm just throwing things out there. But also, you have the right to receive whatever you want.
True.
And also you can, because you are the creator of your reality.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. This is great.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Garrett.
Aww. Aww. So you're hungry?
Yes.
Okay. All right, everyone. We'll be back next week. Or are we going to do our thing on Friday?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
We'll check in with our celebrity guest.
Yeah. If anything, we're going to be here next week. Same time, same place. And as always,
Stay magical.